So this hill is a doozy, but it feels really good, strangely, to like, I don't know, exert myself, and this is like the physical challenge of it. Mentally, I know I can do this. I think it's adventures like this, any little struggle in life that you overcome just makes you a stronger and more confident person. I'm just gonna keep doing all I can and keep trucking along and keep trying to see the sunny side of it. But it just feels good to be back out here and free. Well, there's our first rattlesnake.
So do you want to find out if we can survive a bite or not?
No.
No?
No, do you want to find that out?
I mean, not necessarily.
We'll just go over there and give him a kiss.
So let me back up a minute. My name is Jessica and I'm from Alabama, but folks on the trail know me as Dixie. And in 2015, I thru-hiked the Appalachian Trail. So this year in 2017, I'm setting out to complete the 2,650 mile span of trail from Mexico to Canada that runs through California, Oregon, and Washington.
Do you think I should maybe like...
Taste it? No.
You don't think so?
I don't know. Maybe you should remember what it looks like and look it up, and then if it's something edible, then you'll know. I mean, you don't want to have explosive diarrhea the first day. This is so beautiful. It's crazy how like each turn, everything looks a lot different. That's the first rattlesnake that's ever rattled at me. Oh, he stopped. Okay, well,
no,
I've gotten it over with. All right, maybe this is something we get over eventually.
Yeah.
Or that I'll get over, because clearly I'm the one that's mainly freaking out. Is that one up there on the trail? Yes.
Maybe. Yeah.
Son of a mother hunter. Is it? Oh no, that's just a shadow.
You know, like game play when you were a kid.
So it's like every stick is a snake, and now every shadow is a snake. Would you take a look at that?
So that's the moon that you can see through my tent. I can't explain like how gratifying it is to be laying here in my tent looking at the moon through it, and my feet are throbbing and my legs are sore, and I don't know that I could be any happier right now. And it's really hard to explain this one. I think it's something that you just have to get out and do. It's like a nature reboot, like I always say. Just gotta get out there and go for it. And it's totally worth it.
The hiker show is real. No, I can't make fun though, because this is the way I'm walking. Holy boulder. There are a bunch of them. I think Perk is probably, if I had to guess, like 20 to 25 miles ahead. I don't know for sure. Haven't had real good reception to get in touch with him, but that's the way the trail works, and I know that we'll catch each other and see each other again. So in backpacking, you know, you got to get yourself out of that mindset of like you're 8 to 5, but you do end up with more of like a rhythm out here. So it's like, you know, a sleep, wake up, eat, hike, eat, hike, eat, sleep, wake up, eat, hike, eat, hike, eat, sleep, wake up. And you do that over and over again. It sounds monotonous, but every day is so different. And, you know, you see different things, and I told my mom once, you know, I feel like I move out of my apartment every day to a new one. But yeah, you know, I feel like my rhythm was kind of thrown off. Now it's finally starting to feel good again. So a lot of folks are talking about the snow. All of us have been warned at what we're getting ourselves into, but locals, before I got started, kind of, you know, were like, it is a concern for sure, but just, you know, be careful and evaluate the situation as you get closer. And so when I get to Kennedy Meadows, you know, I'll think on it. I would prefer to do one continuous northbound trek, but we'll just see. Hopefully it'll warm up and melt it all away. I know that's not really realistic, but you know, if you wait too long, then you've got fords, and if you go too soon, then, you know, you might be surfing in an avalanche. So so we'll just see as it gets closer, but I mean, I'm kind of up for the challenge. So we've officially left Idlewild, and there I ended up getting micro spikes, and I have my ice axe, because apparently over San Jacinto we're gonna need them.
And there goes.
No! These even say back and front. Well, back, just kidding. They do say made in China on the front, which makes me a little nervous. So here is the not trail. We're trying to find the trail again. And here are my micro spikes. And here I am sliding in the snow because it is not packed and icy, but instead soft snow. Whew. Yeah. We're good though.
Don't do anything you don't want them back to you.
I'm Betty. Somewhere in all of this is the PCT, but fortunately we're not quite sure, but we do have GPS, so that's a good thing. Follow your arrow wherever it points. It's pointing to the Pacific Crest Trail.
On the trail.
Here we go, into the peak. It is that way. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Well, this trail is taking longer than expected because I keep losing it in the snow. So the Gut Hooks app with GPS is coming in very handy, and HikerBot. So highly recommend those when you're walking through the snow. Hey-oh, making progress. What happened?
The snow gave away.
The snow got hungry. Hiking the Pacific Crest Trail is literally 1 foot in front of the other. He needs a little help, I think. So this is just a reference of how high the snow really is. It's taller than me, and I'm 5'8", so. So the snow kicks my butt, and if this is what the Sierras are going to be like, then we'll need about 5 months to get through there. I don't really want to look, but these are my feet, and there's down there. I'm sorry for doing this, Mom, but living dreams, right? This is freaking awesome. I cannot explain how happy I am right now. I can see the cabin. Land. Yes.
Best cabin.
Hello.
Hallelujah. How many miles did we finally do?
We're just on the trail.
Thank you.
We're getting it done how we can.
So we are all safe and sound in this little stone cabin on the mountain. And tomorrow we get to walk like, what, 1/10 of a mile to the summit? Something like that. And it was a hard day, but it was good. And there were times where I wanted to freak out, but I stayed calm, and I think we got some, good prep for the Sierras. I mean, we put our feet in snow, so that's a start. It was a good day. And even on the freak out parts, it was better than the best day that I've ever had at work. So there's that. Hey guys, come in. Well, that's a heck of a night hike, y'all. So last night we're like all asleep. It's about 1 in the morning, and I was having kind of a bad dream anyway, but like then I heard voices and I was like, is that, I think those are people. And so then I thought maybe I was dreaming, but I listened closer and I heard somebody say, I found the shelter. And then I was like, park, do you hear people? The headlamps like came closer and closer, and you know, this is an emergency shelter, so it was just like, oh crap, you know. And like we didn't necessarily plan to stay here, but getting up to the top of the mountain took a lot longer than intended. But anyway, so these dudes, you know, came in and they had been hiking since like 2 a.m. and had come up through the desert and whatever, and then ended up taking longer or getting lost.
I'm looking for this cabin.
Yeah.
I know it's here. I just don't know where it is.
Were y'all using a GPS or anything, or you just...
No.
Wow.
Batteries all died.
I don't know how y'all found it. So anyway, they came in and we cleared one of the bunks for them, and like they have extra sleeping bags in the cabin, thank goodness. So they, you know, were able to get a good night's sleep, and we gave them a little bit of grub and some water and stuff like that to get them going. But anyhow, so that's pretty crazy, and that's exactly what this emergency shelter is for. But also a good reason why you should always carry a headlamp, even if you just plan to be out for the day, which they started in the night. But you know, and maybe like an emergency bivvy or blanket or some kind of stuff just in case you're stuck in these conditions, a bunch of snow. So pretty crazy. But we did get a quick ice axe lesson this morning from one of them, so that was pretty awesome.
There it is.
Okay, I can fall down now. We are now climbing the summit. Finally, intended on doing this yesterday, but didn't quite make it. Voila! Victory! I have to touch the sign or it didn't happen. Or at least the marker. Ugh. So, another indication of how deep this is. So we know where to go. 10 miles to Idlewild. Deer.
I know it's a trail around here.
Deer Spring.
Deer Spring, yeah, it's one I heard about.
8 miles, little something other. Banning something in Idlewild is 10 miles off.
All right.
Pretty sweet.
And are we going in any of those directions?
No. Well, we are now descending. And after my tutorial this morning, I am toting ice axe for the first time. So far I like it. Apparently I need a better leash, so I'll get one of those, but so far so good. Just practicing with it right now. Don't think I really need it right now, but getting a feel for it. A snowy slope, that's not fun to see. That means somebody wiped out. And it kind of kept on going. I'm gonna try not to do that.
Snow first and then
Okay.
crouch and just kind of do a short
Okay, here we go.
She got it.
I made it! Hey, how about some thorny bushes? Why not? well, since I do not have breeches that I hike in, and I don't want to tear holes up in my wool sleeping breeches or get them in this water to be wet to sleep in tonight, then I get scratchy legs. It seems that the snow line was at about 8,100, except for maybe on the north side of the mountain, which doesn't get much sun. But we had heard that Fuller Ridge was horrible, but compared to summiting San Jacinto, it was like baby snow experience. So I'm really glad that we did that, even though it was probably a little dangerous or whatever. It's definitely good practice. Well, we're pulling our micros off, probably put the ice axe away, and now we need to be on alert for rattlesnakes again. Ah! Ow! This is so pretty! The bad days are worth it when you see stuff like this. So it never ceases to amaze me. Like, you know, some folks like watching TV, but for me, I don't know, the most like entertaining or like captivating things are just like the simplest things in nature. Like, it's crazy in a cactus like this, like you just see and you're like, oh, those are some cool flowers, but then like when you start getting up close on the flowers, you can see how much life and just interaction and just little ecosystem. You know, even the wildfire areas, to me, they're pretty because, you know, it's just nature. I mean, of course not all of them are started naturally, but wildfires are natural. And just, I don't know, like all the different landscapes and different things and clouds, you know, blanketing the mountains, and there being little islands popping up. All the simple things. It's truly hiker TV. Check it out. Got a ways to go. We are getting a ride to the hostel in this sweet ride right here. I have to ask you, how much have you had to drink before you drive?
I think I've had about 8 ounces of root beer.
Oh no!
What would you get a ticket for?
No registration, no insurance, unlicensed vehicle on the highway.
Oh my God.
I mean, you know, highway patrol, they just think, they just go through their book and start
Yeah.
putting stuff. But then, both he and I went to court. Judge dismissed the case, because I brought all this stuff with me.
Oh, that's good.
You know?
So this is hiker heaven, and this is the little tent that has loaner clothes and towels and whatnot. So this place is essentially a free hostel that Trail Angels just decided to set up to help hikers out, and that's honestly just crazy. Like, it's awesome to be part of a community that does stuff like this, but just the fact that they support, you know, our little world, I don't know, it's just really neat. And don't ask for anything in return, you know, but these are the types of experiences that you encounter on a long distance hiking trail, and it, you know, it makes you want to pay it forward and show somebody the same like kindness just to a stranger, you know, that you receive from people. So I don't know, it's just very cool. So I asked Robert and Patty, you know, what section of the PCT have y'all done? And she said, well, you're looking at it right here. About 40 years ago, he brought me on our first date to this area, and we've been coming here ever since. And I was like, so y'all haven't even done the PCT, and you do this consistent trail magic for people? it just blows my mind. I mean, it makes sense for somebody like me who has received trail magic along the way, you know, a thru hiker that understands the value of it. But for somebody who has never even experienced it on the receiving side, to be so like caring and giving to just, I don't know, help people out. It just blows my mind. It's just cool the people you meet along the way on trails like this. There's this mom and this son that are hiking together this year, and she found out that she had glaucoma, so she's hiking with her 10-year-old son before she goes blind, so she can like see some of the beauty that the PCT has to offer.
I decided that I wanted to do something bonding with my son because I don't know what's going to happen for me in the future. I think this is the perfect 4th grade experience for him.
Pretty crazy some of the different reasons that folks come out here to do things like this. There's this fellow that I've been leapfrogging today with on trail, and his trail name is Grandpa. G-R-A-M-P-A. And why?
Because my granddaughter said that, well, I always call you Grandpa, so.
Your grandpa. He is 70 years old, and his wife thinks he's absolutely insane. But he's out here doing something that he's always wanted to do. And there are just so many good people on trail like that, and you just don't know who you're gonna meet. And here you can see the wild hot legs in his natural habitat. Hey! So where are y'all from?
2 hours south of Portland. I'm from Belgium.
It's really cool, and I compared the AT, and I think any trail is probably the same. It's like Alice in Wonderland, you know? You just don't know all the characters that you'll meet in the woods, but it really makes the journey what it is. The struggle has been real this morning. The wind like nearly blew me down a couple of times coming up this climb, and I still have about 2.5 miles of it, and my hands are numb, my nose is running, but really actually thankful for the cool weather and the wind and the clouds, because this long stretch without water would be much more miserable if this wasn't the case. So always, you know, try to look at the sunny side of things. I think it's also learning to recognize the things that you can change in your life and the things that you can't, because people get so upset about, you know, presidential elections and different things like that, that they can't personally as a single human change, and they let so much energy be wasted on those things. But when you're out here on a trail like this, you can get mad at the wind all you want, but guess what? Like, you're still gonna have to put your tent up in it, and it's still gonna blow things around, hanging on like a hair in a biscuit. But then you learn, like, well, I just have to appreciate the days that aren't windy when I set my tent up and when everything goes perfectly, because like I can't change the wind. Like, the wind's gonna blow whether I want it to or not, or I can't make it not rain, you know? So it just helps you identify, like, okay, I can get mad and make myself more miserable right now, or I can just get over it and learn to appreciate the good days. So I've had a lot of time to like think about things since all I've been doing is walking, and just got to thinking, maybe it wouldn't be so daggum windy if they'd turn these fans on. I don't know if it sounds crazy or not, but honestly I'm a little anxious about hitting Kennedy Meadows. I'm excited, but like, I don't know, it's such a landmark, you know, and it's like when you get there, I don't know, for me right now, it's just like it'll be official that I'm through hiking the PCT, which sounds silly because, I mean, I just passed mile 700, but like, I don't know, it's just like, stuff's about to get real. Just finished the last climb of the desert. Oh, it feels so good. Oh, I have no idea what lays in store in these mountains coming up, but you know, it's just another chapter Pinhoti Meadows has been pretty cool. The general store here is where everyone hangs out, and they've got a grill, so of course I had to have a victory burger and beer when I got here. Everyone's just hanging out, and when other hikers arrive, we all cheer for them, and it's just kind of, you know, like, congratulations, you've made it 700 miles into the landmark that is Pinhoti Meadows and beginning the Sierras. So it's just, it's exciting, and you can definitely feel the excitement among everyone, and some nervousness, because the Sierras are going to be a really big deal.
Over at the Sierra Nevada, the snowpack has gotten so deep, the tools used to measure the amount of snow can't even reach the bottom.
500, 600, 700 inches of snow.
The storms aren't coming in inches, they're coming in feet.
Very significant increase in snow water content throughout the state, almost phenomenal increases in snow water content.
It is officially the wettest year on record in the Sierra.
There was a lot of fear-mongering and people who were blowing it up and really just freaking people out. But it really comes down to what you're comfortable with, you know, and trusting yourself and using common sense. Or just because other people say it's impossible, like, don't necessarily take that, you know, go figure it out for yourself. Even though I've been kind of feeling back and forth on the whole, do I go ahead into the Sierras or do I skip ahead and come back later? And I'm just gonna go on in and see the raging river for myself. I came out here to do this through hike and to be a Nobo, and I'm going for it. Alright, so if I was going to continue on the PCT and not summit Whitney, then I would continue this way towards Forester Pass. But when am I ever going to be this close to Whitney again? Only 8.3 miles to the summit going that way. So, going for it. So I have been talked into by crazy fools that are hiking around me, hiking up to the summit, leaving here about midnight and watching the sunrise. So it's probably going to be pretty awesome. The Mount Whitney Dream Team. Oh. Are we already lost, y'all? Really? Oh. So we just realized that we are going the wrong way. Somehow we started going down again. Son of a mother.
Got lost in the sunshine.
Yeah. God. It all looks the same. It was microspikes time. How did y'all cross over this bad boy right here? Water bridge. Climb Mountain Whitney at midnight, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Oh my gosh, this poor spider. Look out for the spider. He deserves to live after crawling all night. Right now I'm at like 12,900, I think, or 12,000. I don't know, above 12,000. And it's probably either equal or higher than I've ever been, so should break 13,000 before long, and that will be the highest I've ever been. I'm kind of glad I can't see this ahead of me right now because it literally goes down the side of the mountain right here. It's crazy how winded I'm getting at this elevation. And to think of people doing Everest. It's just wild. I feel like I need an oxygen tank here. Huh? Above 13,000. At this point, I feel like I'm just sleepwalking or like flailing myself forward. Not even walking. But every step is the highest I've ever bend, so that's kind of cool. Can start to see some color. Still got about a mile to go. Oh, crap. I feel like I'm about to fall out. Oh my gosh. What a heck of a trip. Like, man, it's just crazy. And it's like a whole new world this morning. I mean, it's just, it's like a living postcard. It's amazing. Mount Whitney is technically not part of the Pacific Crest Trail, but the trail runs 8 miles, you know, a side trail up to Summit Whitney. So you can skip Whitney, but pretty much everybody does it. Well, I can't lie, I'm a little nervous this morning because it seems like, looking at all the people who have gone before me, that somewhere between Mount Whitney and the Kearsarge Pass is when the people decide to flip-flop because conditions get so bad. It's like they're all happy to post their summit picture of Whitney and then, you know, online, and then after that you see they get to Bishop and they post a status on social media about deciding that the Sierras are too rough. So I'm really not sure what today and tomorrow will entail. I've heard that Wright Creek, Wallace Creek, and Tyndall Creek are pretty sketchy, and Forester Pass. So this is the part where I just find out for myself. Well, I can hear Wallace Creek. I haven't seen it yet, but that's the one that supposedly is so rough. It actually doesn't look that bad. I'm approaching Wright Creek, and this one sounds a lot louder, but I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna walk downstream, see if there's anything better. I managed to get across right there, come to that island, and then cross right here. Swift water, but it wasn't too deep. Now, for this branch. Oh goodness. Alright, number 2 done for the day. Woohoo! Are you excited?
Yeah, that was fun.
I'm pretty excited.
Got one more to do.
Oh. Holy smokes, look how pretty. That this is the 3rd crossing of the day. This is Tyndall Creek. Alright, we found a spot that it's like 3 braids coming together, so this is much more doable than what we were looking at that downstream. We did it! All 3 for today are done. Feels so good to let the toes dry out. The water just never stops. Ever.
So I'm just laying here in my little rock crevice and about 1.7 miles south of Forester Pass, which I'm really excited to see. It's one of the sketchy parts that I guess makes everybody decide to skip ahead, and along with the 3 creeks that we passed today, but those actually weren't that bad, you know, if you take the time to find a good spot. But also, I mean, conditions changed so much out here that a week ago it could have been completely different. So I'm excited to see Forester, and actually aiming to go ahead and go into Bishop tomorrow night. So although I'm loving the section of trail, it will be exciting to get into town and let everybody know that I'm alive, because there is no service in this area. So anyway, we'll just see what tomorrow holds.
This is heading up Forester. Here we go. The snow pretty much feels like ice this morning. It's real hard, and that's the goal when you go over a pass, is to try to go when the snow is still pretty hard in the morning before it gets too slushy, so you're not sliding around. You really don't want to slide off of a pass. At least I don't. The goal is to stay alive. So anyway, I'm really looking forward to whooping this first sketchy, snowy area, just because, you know, I've heard so much about it even before I started. So it'll be great to see, and it'll be great to put it in the rear view mirror. This is nuts.
This is why we're here.
Yeah.
This is fun, right?
Yeah. So much fun.
This is what we do for fun.
Torture ourselves.
I love my vacation.
Yeah, this is, you know, all of our friends think this is like a 5 to 6 month vacation. They're like, oh, you're going on a 6-month camping trip. That's so cute. So that little white patch of snow and that rock up there, that is where folks are crossing. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm not sure the saying, don't look down, has ever been more true, and literally, like, I cannot look down right now. That's what it is, so y'all can look down for me. Whew. Whew. So that was the scariest thing I have ever done in my life. Oh, okay. Good view though. Yep. Carrying on.
Woohoo! How do you feel?
Like a rock star!
Yeah! Look at that! You just climbed that!
Ow! Ow! We did it! We all whooped it. Now that all the big stuff is behind me, I can say that I am loving it. Like, I have never done something more scary or something that makes me so nervous, but so fulfilling at the same time. Like, that was awesome. And by no means am I ready to flip. So unless something unforeseen happens between here and Bishop today, I am ready to continue the Sierras because I am loving it. Like, oh, it's just so rewarding. All of the views, the experience, the awesome people that I'm hiking around. I don't know, knowing that other people believe in you, you know, and most importantly, that you believe in yourself. Just anything that is difficult and that you accomplish in life, you know, whether it's climbing mountains or starting a business, just makes you a stronger and more confident person. So get out there and whoop those challenges. Whew. People walking. I seriously just caught my first trout, and it took me a second to get the hook out of his mouth, so I felt bad because I wasn't going to keep him. He was a little, so I was just trying to give him a little, you know, bit of water, like, and he got out of my hand. So I'm gonna do one more and see if I can get a picture with one this time. Yay! Let the little guy go. There. I cowboy camped about a mile from the top of Glen Pass, and that's where I'm heading this morning. I camped last night with a fella from Australia. His name is Martin. And so luckily we'll be going over this pass together because passes are pretty sketchy, especially since it's a high snow year. So it's nice to have, you know, somebody to go over with. I guess, I don't know, it's comforting to know that somebody will know you fell if you fell, or just to see what they do, or to talk about like what the best way to go is. You know, it's just two minds are better than one. Whew. There he goes. I am on my own. We got over the pass and Martin asked me how I would feel if he turned around and went on back to town. And of course, you know, I'm like, dude, if you don't want to be doing this, like, you know, it's not, I think that he's like scared. I think it's just not as enjoyable as he would like it to be. He'd like the snow to be gone and be able to go swimming and stuff. But he was like, will you be okay? And I was like, absolutely. But wow, props to you for, you know, doing the pass again. And I guess he's decided to flip-flop. He was hoping there would be less snow in the valley. I was really hoping so too, but I don't know if it's stupidity or pride or just enjoyment of the challenge, but I'm gonna keep pressing on, hoping that somebody will join me at the bottom of the next pass. Or anyway, here I go again on my own. Situations like this make things take longer. We gotta walk on the side of this snowy bank here and around, because this goes straight down and we got a rock slide here. I mean, I could squeeze between these two, but I don't think that's a good idea. Ooh, I just crossed this one. It's only half of it. It's split into two, and not gonna lie, it's the scariest one I've done so far. It's about knee deep, but it's Russian. So, whew, it's been a day. trail. Ooh, my legs are shaking. I was saying that the water didn't freak me out that bad, but starting to a little bit. And the passes were the scary part, but now I don't know. Check out this one too. I mean, there's just so much water all over the trail. It's crazy. Well, I just got to White Fork, and I tried to go like halfway across, and it was just too rough. I had to turn back, but I'm going upstream to try to see if there's, you know, a better place to cross. I know there's not one downstream, and if not, I'll just have to camp on this side for the night, and hopefully in the morning, you know, it'll be down, so, which it probably will, but it's just frustrating. Well, now that I've had a minute to calm down after setting my tent up, I made a very stupid decision to try to cross that creek, and I knew it was when I did it, so this is a pretty good wake-up call for me. I got halfway across and could feel my legs kind of starting to give, and as I looked across, the flow was even stronger on the second half of the crossing. So I knew if I went forward that I probably wouldn't make it across. So I turned around, and luckily was strong enough to hold my legs, you know, until I could get hold of like some brush and kind of pull myself up to shore. So I'm an idiot for a couple reasons, because, well, I should have just looked at it and gone, you know what, it can wait till morning, I'll just camp right before it, which is what I did now anyway. And, you know, I told my mom that I wouldn't do anything sketch alone. So, sorry, Mom. But anyway, so, I mean, if I'm going to do the Sierras, I know that they're risky. And, like, I want to go straight through. I want to keep going north, even still. But I've got to do it smart. And, you know, it's like I'm in this huge rush to hurry up and get through the Sierras, because I know that going slower is killing my chances of finishing my thru hike, because eventually it's going to snow in Washington and it's going to be too late to go through. So if I'm going to do the Sierras and stick to Novo thru hike or Novo hike, then I've got to at least be smart about it. So the main thing that I can do is just wait here, and if this means that I don't get to go over the next pass tomorrow, then so be it. I've heard that the pass isn't that bad. You know, maybe I can get there early afternoon and it won't be too slushy. But again, just gonna do the smart thing and wait. This group of 4 fellas just rolled up, and they were like, it doesn't look that deep, and you know, they're also contemplating what to do, but I think even they're gonna camp on this side and wait until the flow goes down in the morning. We totally whooped it. Really glad that I ran into these guys. So Rooster got his trail name because he wakes everybody up in the morning, especially one of the other guys, Butters. And every morning he'll just call everyone's name, make sure they're up. He is very chill and kind of like the glue that holds the group together. And then Dan, Lord have mercy, Lieutenant Dan is just wide open. He always walks around blasting his like 80s rock music, and it really does fit his personality. I mean, if anybody's gonna run and jump on the snow and do something crazy, it's him, and he just bounces back. And next in the group is Mark. So Mark is the oldest of the group, and he is so cool, his accent. He's from Australia. He's definitely the quietest of the group, but when he has something to say, it's usually pretty on point. And last but not least is Butters. So Butters is kind of like the class clown, I would say. You know, he likes to joke around and is constantly making everyone laugh, but he's got a good heart. They make a great team and kind of practice the leave no man behind thing. Oh my God! It's precious. Do you see it on the screen? Hey guy. So my shoes are frozen solid. These sun cuffs are really hard to walk on. You gotta put your foot in just the right spot to where you don't slide down in it. And if you don't, your foot slides and goes down one of these holes and you twist your ankle and it just doesn't feel good. And this is the constant battle above about 10,000 feet of elevation. Now we're heading up the uphill to Mather Pass, which I've heard is the sketchiest one to go over. I wish it was a little bit earlier. Snow's starting to get a little slushy, but maybe we'll make it up there before it gets too bad. Holy smokes. We're going right in that saddle area. So we've been told there is a cornice at the top of the pass, which is pretty sketchy. I hope that it's gone by now, but here we go. Here comes Butters. Even though it looks like we should be freezing cold, it's burning up. Holy smokes. Let's stretch. We made it. Here we go down the other side. Came from up there, where Mark is.
Hey.
How was it?
How was what? Going over Mather Pass?
Yes.
Pretty sketchy.
Yeah, I think that's the scariest one I've. It is the scariest one I've done so far.
Most definitely.
Yeah, they were right. I am so glad to have that pass done. There were a couple sketchy parts. Several really, but when the snow path hits rocks, it gets bad because you can post hole near the rocks, and just going from one surface to the other with spikes on is kind of sketchy. You know, it's good in the snow, but then when you put your spikes on rock, it feels a little more slick. So there was one part where I had to cross like a big boulder on like a little bitty crack, and it went straight down the mountain, you know, basically fall to your death spot. And luckily Butters hung back and ended up, I was like, I'm gonna need you to come a little bit closer and give me your hand. And he had to kind of like pull me over the rock, you know, as I kind of inched my way and pushed off. That was definitely the most sketchy pass I've done. So the Sierras so far have been amazingly beautiful, and I was thinking about it, and you know, you can almost compare it to like the beauty of like a venomous snake or a poisonous frog, and the way that it's so beautiful, you know, and you want to touch it and hold it, and if you don't handle it right, it'll get you. It's been a tough go out here with, like, you know, the beating sun. Even though it's snowy, it's not cold during the day when the sun's beating down on you, and non-stop rivers and streams. Feet are always wet. The downed trees from where avalanches have come through, and then just all sorts of other obstacles and post holing and sun cups, just everything. But so far it's all been worth it. A bad day on trail is still better than a good day at work. And I had a section hiker tell me that that most people don't do great things because most great things don't feel great while you're doing them. So I guess that's true in a lot of ways. We are almost to the road, finishing off the Sierras with a 26.0 mile day. Just part of the challenge, and something that I'll look back on and be proud of, you know, that I whooped it this year. I'm really excited for the trail to come. Sometimes it's hard to get out of the tent this early, but once you start walking, the mornings are so just still, and that was definitely a mosquito. That's disgusting because they're already biting this morning. But anyway, what I was saying is, the mornings are usually really still. I think this is the prettiest lake I have ever witnessed in my life. Aloha Lake.
God, mosquitoes everywhere.
I'm gonna try to start doing some 30s coming up, just to, you know, catch up on mileage. And with the Sierra Nevada being such a challenge this year, we knew that it would slow us down, and you don't want to run into winter up in Washington. When that snow is going to come, nobody really knows. I think most of us this year have set a targeted point of October 1st. We all keep kind of calculating and averaging out, you know, how many miles per day we have to do. I've figured up that it's close to 23 miles per day, but I'm determined to get to Canada before the snow does. There have been so many lakes today, and they're just all so pretty. It's like, I don't know, lake day. There's trail here, and trail there, and looks like what's supposed to be a footbridge. It's there, so. This area has seen some snow melt this year. It's 6:30 in the morning and I'm hiking, which isn't bad, but honestly I'd really hope to get up at like 4, something like that, because I was hoping to potentially pull a 34.8 mile day today. Doubt that's gonna happen now, but when I woke up at like 3:30 it was lightly sprinkling, and I knew if it was going to start raining, I did not want to be, you know, in the dark, starting off my morning hiking in the rain. So I reckon I'm just a big baby, but Anyway, packed up all my stuff. Normally I don't put my tent on top of everything in my pack, but this morning, because of the mosquitoes last night, I figured they were probably still, you know, pretty heavy this morning in that area, with the lake being, you know, still water and all. So sure enough, I was right. They started attacking me as soon as I got out, so I was happy that I had packed everything up inside of my tent, you know, put everything in my pack while I was still in my tent, and then I just put the tent on top. And I can swap everything around later on in the day when I gotta get something out, but mosquitoes are already out. Well, I hope the mosquitoes are proud, because in running from them, they're like a million around me right now. They've managed to make me run into a tree, so there's fresh blood. But they're not flocking to that, no. They want to poke me some more and get it out their way. Can't even be appreciative of the buffet cut on my leg. Seriously. I'm running just as fast as I can, trying to get out of mosquito land, trying to get away into the night. And then they stab me with their pokers and they take another bite and then they say, is she anemic yet? I noticed this guy was moving kind of slow. It's because there's an ant biting his leg. A mosquito biting me. Look at that joker. Vicious little thing. I don't like killing things, but I ended up having to mash the dad blasted ant's head off. And he still didn't turn loose. Bye, Mr. Frog. Hope you have a better day. I didn't think this morning would start off with a brutal murder. Like in that instance, do you choose the frog or the ant, or to not interfere? But I mean, I was already involved. So, didn't have to kill the one on his front foot. He turned loose. And I gave the one on the back foot a chance. But he was just determined, even in death, to eat that darn frog. I'm not sure how this ant ended up stranded on this rock. Nothing touched me. But I'm gonna try to totally redeem myself and save this ant's life. Mission accomplished. I mean, I don't mind murdering mosquitoes because, you know, they're trying to suck in my blood and they don't care if I live. Check out the spider. It's so hard to be still with these mosquitoes. Mrs. Spider, you need to eat some skeeters. Yes. Yes. I don't go on rants often because, you know, it's sometimes not worth getting angry or upset over things that, you know, doesn't really matter. But I ran into a man yesterday, and I've been stewing on this for about 18 hours or so. Anyway, I ran into a man yesterday heading southbound doing a section hike, and he asked me, you know, where are you heading on this hike? And I said, well, my long-term goal is Canada. And he was like, Canada, huh? Oh, well, I reckon you're gonna have to skip ahead to get done in time, aren't you? And I was like, well, no, I think I just need to hike more miles and maybe a little faster, you know, each day. And he's like, listen now, I'm telling you, go halfway up Oregon somewhere, you know, and go north and you can knock this out afterwards. And I said, I don't think so. And he said, oh no, you're never gonna make it. If I listened to people my whole life, I would be out here. I wouldn't have hiked Appalachian Trail. Heck, I probably wouldn't leave my house because I'd be so scared of everything. So, I guess my point is, take what people say with a grain of salt and, you know, live your life. I will say though that I'm thankful for people like that because honestly it makes me just want to work a lot harder. Prove them wrong. I'm doing something a little crazy today. I know that we're gonna really have to start upping the mileage and getting our bodies, you know, acclimated to that. We're doing a 24-hour challenge starting this morning. From whatever time we take our first step onto the trail, we have 24 hours from that moment to do as many miles as we can, basically. So, my record on the Appalachian Trail was 33 miles. Let's go.
She's so pretty.
Already starting out with distractions this morning. She's trying to sabotage us. This reminds me of NASCAR because we have many laps to go. But in each lap we still have to make good time. And you kind of want to go to sleep while it's going on. 1 hour in. Still feel good. Still moving this uphill mess. We have passed the 2-hour mark and still feeling good. I think most of the uphill for the day is behind us. Well, significant uphill anyway. Apparently there might be a longer water carry in this stretch, so that might make things interesting. And I just left my trekking poles behind when I went pee. It was probably only like 0.1, but that's a quarter of a mile added on for no reason other than carelessness. Is ibuprofen a performance enhancing drug? No, okay. I am beginning hour 4 and I have done 8 miles on the dot with all the pee breaks and stopping for water and etc., leaving my trekking poles. All right, I've got 10 miles logged and it is 10:30, I believe. So less than 4 hours. So it is 10:52 and there goes a deer running off. It scared me. Aw, I think it's a mom and 2 fawns. I am in the lead now. Not that it's really a race, just a race with yourself. Our only complaint is the lack of water and of course the exposed terrain. You know, heat, a lot of heat, low amount of water, you know, doesn't make for whatever. It's been 5 hours and I'm at 13.3, which is not wonderful. Thundering. Don't rain on me. Great. I still hadn't seen anybody, so they're all still behind me somewhere. I hope somebody catches up soon, just to, you know, because misery loves company. I have to say, this is only the second time on trail that I've had to put on, well, on the Pacific Crest Trail, that I've had to put on a raincoat because of the rain. I'm a little hill right now, but there aren't many of these, so that's good. Check this out. You know what I do have? These nice folks right here, so sweet. They, in this dry stretch of water, they had some packs of water in their vehicle, just extra, and some snacks and stuff that they're leaving out for everyone else coming along. And just like that, I have done 30 miles officially on the Pacific Crest Trail. This is my first 30-miler day, and I'm really excited. If I keep up this pace, which, I mean, let's be real, I don't think I can, but that would be a 60-mile day. That'd be crazy. I mean, I'll be happy to get 50. I'll be happy to get 40. I'm happy about 30. I think the squirrels are trying to torture me because this looks like a little mini piece of fried chicken to me. Or maybe like fried chicken with a shrimp tail or something. I don't know. I don't know if I'm getting delirious or a second wind. I think it's too early for delirium, so I'm gonna go with second wind. Murr. Murr. You have a pretty view here on this mountain you live on. It's beautiful. I have officially hiked 34 miles today, which means I have beaten my personal record of 33 that I reached on the Appalachian Trail. So even if I didn't hike another mile tonight, I'd be proud, but I'm gonna keep hiking. Well, these guys like to scare the crap out of me. Those were cows. And I thought a bear was there, but it's just cows. That's good. I just want to say that you're looking at the newest member of the 40 Miler Club. I just whooped 40 miles by 10:30 p.m. I'm pretty excited. And to celebrate, I think I'm gonna change the batteries in my headlamp, even though the moon is out now and I might not need it that much. And change my socks, you know, to celebrate 40 miles. I can feel myself kind of starting to slow down, especially after that last break. My feet were hurting pretty good. But I'm still going. I am getting pretty sleepy. Alright, here's the cow pond. It looks absolutely disgusting. Of course, it's a cow pond. I will get some of this for emergency use only. I've been wondering about the guys and where they are and everything, and I hadn't heard from anybody. But Perk just texted me and he is like 6.3 miles behind me. So, man, I'm glad that somebody's still trucking. I don't know, it just makes me feel good, like knowing if I fall out, somebody will come behind me. Y'all, it is 2:50 in the morning and I have officially hit 50 miles. Oh my goodness. It feels so good. Not sure that I can pull 60, but I'm gonna get as close as I can. This is my feet walking mile 1400 because I can't find the mile marker. So 1400, I guess the 24-hour challenge is a good reason to not actually see the marker. 54 miles in, and I am literally running right now. Well, as best I can, without falling on my face on a rock. Oh, I want a 60 so bad. All right, it's getting down to the grind here. I've been 56 and a half. I have 2 hours left. Oh, I want to try to go ahead and just make it all the way to the road to Bernie, which I think will be a little over 61, but let's not be greedy. Let's get to 60 first. I'm a 60 miler. Oh my gosh. Okay, but I gotta keep going to see how much I can get before the time's up. I've got like 40 something minutes left. Well, I look like such a dork, but it doesn't matter. I'm a dorky 60 miler and I'm proud of it. Holy crap-a-moly. Oh, Lord have mercy. My feet finally really hurt a lot. Like my left foot, I'm pretty sure the skin is raked off of my big toe. I think so. I don't know. I'm shuffling now. Doing the hiker shuffle. So this is the road to Bernie, which means I've been 61.1 miles. Problem is, there's still time left in the challenge, so I'm about to cross the road like an idiot and keep walking down the trail. It's not a 24-hour challenge if I don't hike all 24 hours, right? Oh, I can't believe I'm doing this extra piece. I just don't want to feel like I didn't complete it. It's a little over the top, but you got to. I have never been so happy to hear my alarm go off. It just went off, and I am at 62 miles flat for this 24-hour challenge. Challenge complete. Well, this is the second day after completing the 24-hour challenge, and my back feels a lot better. I'm not as sore in those muscles. Feet aren't quite as sore. The blisters are real though. Last night when I pulled off that Leuko tape to kind of rinse everything off, the blister on my big toe, I saw how big it really was by the flap of skin that was hanging there. So doctored it up, put more Leuko tape on today, and I think everything's gonna be fine. So no serious damage. So I'm just walking along here, you know, admiring this openness, and I see Park here, and he's like, "Dixie, look," and I'm like, "Yeah, openness," and I'm like, kind of like, you know, whatever, and then I'm like, oh my, there's Mount Shasta looking all majestic, and you almost can't see her because she just blends right in with the clouds. And Park's like, yeah, that's what I was talking about. Check it out. So pretty. Butters, look.
What happened? Look to your left. Look up.
At the clouds.
Look at the horizon.
Oh. There it is. Are you cussing me out? Oh, what did you say to me? Hi-ho, hi-ho. Canada we go. Do y'all see her up there looking at me? What you doing? You following me? She really is. I have made a friend. She is running down the hill after me. What in the world? Never had this happen before. Look out for creepers on the trail today. Come on. Let's go to Canada. I'm about 8/10 of a mile from the Oregon border, but I'm really looking forward to something new. And Oregon, here I come. The sunny side of all this smoke, you know, even though I can't see the views, is I haven't really been bit by any mosquitoes today, so that's good. Was researching all these fires up ahead, and it's just logistically kind of a nightmare right now. So this is where we're getting back on the trail here. We're gonna have to double back to the spot and actually pass it tomorrow, head north. This little section was kind of a rush. And those firefighters were certainly surprised to see us. He was like, well, this area should be closed. And we're like, well, if it was, we wouldn't have come through, you know. Anyway, it's gonna in total be like a 26 to 27 mile day for really just like 13 and a half or so trail miles. We are hiking north now towards another fire closure, of course. And but we're about to pass mile 2000. So that's pretty exciting. Well, I've officially completed another small section that's open between two fire closures. And got some text messages telling me about dayflyer closures ahead, and you know, I was just like, if I could just get out of Oregon, maybe in Washington I can actually, you know, hike miles. You know, I knew that they had evacuated Cascade Locks, which is right on the Oregon side of the Columbia River, but right, you know, on the state line. The fire has apparently jumped the gorge and is now on the Washington side. So stupid, but like, I don't know, if I don't get to walk across the Bridge of the Gods, that's gonna be awful. I'm being such a baby, and here I am being all selfish and, you know, upset about missing, you know, a big part of the trail that I was looking forward to. But, you know, I just think about all the people who live in these areas, and their homes and their businesses are at risk, and like, I don't know, just imagine what all of them must be going through. This part of the country is on fire. This has been the year of fire and ice. No matter what happens here moving forward, I just need to enjoy everything around me every day, and all of the beauty that I'm immersed in, and just be proud that I have this opportunity, and for all the amazing things I've already seen, and, you know, what's left to come before I get to Canada, even if I'm flying in a firefighting helicopter. When I stand at that monument, if it hadn't been burned down by the time I get there, it's really gonna be something special. Even with all of the smoke and everything, there still has been a beauty to Oregon, and you know, it's been a state that I never got to really explore before, so even though I didn't see it in its most pristine condition, I can always come back. You know, I came out here to hike the Pacific Crest Trail, not to see Crater Lake, and not to see Sisters, and not to see, you know, all this. So of course that's all part of it. It really has shown me several things, and allowed me to meet some awesome people. Met some awesome, you know, trail angels that have really helped us a lot in getting around, you know, all of these closures and just dealing with the logistics. And it really would have been very difficult to do without them and their kindness. And most importantly, it's helped me prove to myself that, you know, no matter what is thrown my way, I am extremely committed to finishing this, because I came to thru-hike the PCT, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So we can't go across the Bridge of the Gods as far as I know. But we're still gonna walk into Washington, and we're just doing it over a bridge. While I certainly expected it, it's getting cold. The weather is coming. Cold weather and snow eventually, but hopefully I'm sitting in a town in Canada watching the first snowfall instead of at the monument snowshoeing through it. I think we're gonna probably run into some snowy, sleety stuff in this next few days stretch, but before we know it, we'll be at Leavenworth, warm again, and after that we only have Stehekin and then Canada. So seeing the end in sight, but it's just the next few days are gonna be pretty rough. We decided to hang out a little bit longer and see if it would clear up at all, and it did not. It's gonna be like lower 20s tonight, so yeah, I'm gonna hold up one more day. I guess I'm a baby. Apparently the weather is supposed to lighten up a little bit tomorrow. Well, I have reached snow line. Just getting into it now. Just turned from rain to sleetish stuff to snow. Can't see anything, but still pretty. Trail's still pretty, especially with the snow on it. Christmas came early. Not gonna lie, y'all, it's pretty cold out here. Ooh, and some fresh powder now. This is absolutely amazing. A little miserable, but oh my god, it's so beautiful. I'm wondering if this is not the catwalk part that I heard everyone talking about. Apparently, if it is, there's a beautiful view behind all of this cloud cover here, but yeah, I think this must be it. I passed a couple today who were heading south. I thought that they looked familiar, but apparently they've left from Snoqualmie Pass, headed north, less than 10 miles or so, camped and had weather that was really bad, turned around, came back up here again, I guess yesterday, and then last night they were just miserable and cold, and you know, just because of how bad the weather's been, that they turned around and went back to town today. So when I passed them, it was their second time coming back down from up here. So I know when you've had a couple of days of it, it wears on you. So I can tell you, I don't think I'm gonna do as many miles today as I thought. I was kind of hoping for 20, and at this point, I'll probably be happy with 10. It's gonna have to get significantly worse for me to turn around and go back downhill, that hill I just climbed. But hopefully that won't happen. I'm gonna enjoy this for what it is. Kind of reminds me of when I was finishing the AT in Maine and how the weather was there. So, seems fitting.
So it's like 4 a.m. Just woke up, and the sleeping bag is wet. You can see the mist coming in right there. I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's not soaked yet, but so I'm just gonna go back to sleep for now. But it's not good. My sleeping bag is not quite soaked. It's still just damp. Pretty much everything else I have is soaked, including the contractor bag that I keep my sleeping bag in. My hiking clothes are completely wet, so I mean it's pretty cold out here. So I just don't really trust that. I know it's going to continue this all day, raining. So I don't really trust that it'll be dry enough to stay warm enough tonight. Plus, I don't really want to put those on and hike in them. I mean, I'm sure if I kept moving it'd be fine, but then climb into a sleeping bag that might not be warm enough. Alright, I've made a decision that I'm going back to town. It's gonna suck to redo this 7-mile climb. Well, it's like 6. But it's gonna suck worse to get hypothermia and die. As far as I knew from the forecast, the rain was supposed to stop today. So I hope that holds true, because I do have to get to Canada. So taking all these zeros, is not aiding in finishing.
I'm so not thrilled about this. I'm sitting here like second guessing myself, like, should I be turning around going to town? But I know that I should, because anybody got no business being out in 20 to 30 degree weather in a wet sleeping bag. So, and if today was a day that was going to be sunny, I would just hike until that point and then hang my stuff out to dry for lunch or something, but I don't think the sun's going to show its face today, so I reckon I'm doing the right thing. It just feels like I'm never going to make it to Canada. But I am, somehow. Come hell or high water or rain and snow. I'm gonna make it. So after I got to the room and I pulled out my sleeping bag, I realized it was pretty sopping wet. But I put it in the dryer, fluffed it up, and now it's got more loft than it's had in a while. So it was really a good call on my part to pull the plug and come back. And you know, even though I've lost a couple days now, I could have potentially lost my life, right? So it's totally worth the extra days. Much better. The other day, couldn't hardly see anything, and now, ooh, pretty. So this here is the Kindle catwalk, and yeah, you could not see any of this the other day. Wow, that is beautiful. Oh, goodness gracious. So that's where I was. Home sweet home. I just passed this lady going southbound, and her name is Brazil Nut. And she is on the last trail, this PCT, going southbound, working on her double triple crown. That is insane! So she'll be, I think, the second woman to double triple crown, which is just amazing. Talking to her and asking her, you know, we've done all 3 trails and almost all of them twice now, so which is your favorite? And she made a really good point. She said, what do you like more, the oceans or the mountains? Why can't you just enjoy them both? And I was like, I know, like all the trails, it's like comparing apples to oranges. And she said, you know, you hold on to your first experience, which for me and for her was the Appalachian Trail. But she said, you know, even though you remember that experience, even if you go back and do that same trail, it's never going to be the same, right? Because it's different. And she said it's all about enjoying the beauty of every day and just being in the moment for whatever it is. And y'all, she's right. You know, I've been one on the hard days out here to dwell on, you know, oh, I miss the camaraderie of the AT, or I miss, you know, this part of even this trail or whatever. But the point is, you know, can't dwell in the past because you're never going to have it back. Things are never going to be exactly as they were yesterday because it's a different day. It's a new moment and a new experience, and you just have to be willing to accept that and to be excited about the present and what the future holds. So, gosh, I just love running into people like that. Back in the clouds again. I'll take it. I'll take the clouds as long as Mother Nature doesn't decide to pee on me. remember being a little girl and folks always saying, you know, don't live with your head in the clouds. And you know what? I'm still not listening. Y'all, I promise the cold hadn't got to my mind and made me a crazy person. Not yet. I thought maybe if I sang to the sun, she'd come back out, but no look yet. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. Doo doo doo, here comes the sun, and I said it's alright. Do 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 do. I'm trying to cook, and these mice are going crazy. Get off my pot. So the mice chewed through a tent, stole somebody's shoelaces. They were vicious last night. None of my things were damaged, but
I really think the
pretty
tents
much
are
all the
mice
people
proof
around me.
because
You said you could hear them running over the top of y'all's?
Yeah, like they would come inside our rainfly and then run up over the top of the tent.
God. Yeah, they were climbing up the mesh of mine too. Like looking in. I flicked one off at one point.
Oh my God.
I camped with the most people that I've camped with in like forever last night. There were 4 other people, and in talking to them this morning, there was a couple there, and they are the ones that had to turn back twice to go back to Snoqualmie Pass. And so talked to them about that, and apparently they knew several other people who had to do the same thing, and some had to get up and go in the middle of the night because they got soaked that quickly. So, and then I ended up passing a fella that I know from the AT from 2015, and he was heading south yesterday. He did like a flip-flop, and he said that from Stevens Pass, which is where I'm heading right now, that people did the same thing, including him. So it was crazy how many people had to end up turning around and heading back because of that storm. And I'm just really thankful that I wasn't in the middle of the stretch and that I was close enough to town. Although I don't love the snow, it is useful for leaving hiker texts. I have a new hiking buddy today. I finally got service last night where I was camped, and Herc was aiming to make it to town yesterday afternoon. So this last section was slow going for him also. He also said that before he got word first from some people that I camped near, that I guess, you know, passed by him that morning, that he was psychologically prepared to come back and find my body. So that's pretty crazy. Honestly, I was pretty worried about him also. You know, it was like, well, if he didn't come back to town when I did, then obviously he didn't get wet and he's fine, or he's dead, right? So I know that sounds absolutely horrible, but I mean, the snow and the rain and the cold and the wet and freezing temperatures and hypothermia, it's really nothing to play around with. So, and I'm telling y'all, this Washington rain and cold is way different than like Smoky Mountain cold, or else I've just gotten soft. I don't know. But anyway, luckily neither Perk nor I have to mourn each other.
That's gnarly.
this place out. I found a perk. Washington in Leavenworth, and here's like, you know, we're all like, oh wow, this looks like miniature golf but legit, and then there's a goat in the middle of town. I guess this is how they cut their grass. Look at that one scratching its ear. The deer just hanging out. Oh, bless your leg, darling. Oh God. Just got done with my second to last resupply. Who knew that blueberries could be so photogenic? So there's something that I haven't really mentioned yet, but I'm pretty excited about, and that is I have a bracelet that I wear on this wrist. You can't even see it anymore, but it's got the coordinates of Katahdin, Mount Katahdin in there, which is the northern terminus of the Appalachian Trail. And so I have one just like it, except it has different numbers, and that is the coordinates for the northern terminus of the Pacific Crest Trail. So I've carried it with me all of this way, and I figure when I get to the monument, I've earned it, and I'll get to put it on. So pretty thrilled about that. It's been a long, hard year, and or 6 months, whatever, and I'll be really excited and feel really good when I have accomplished 2/3 of the Triple Crown and I get to put that bracelet on. Tomorrow it's supposed to get rainy and gross, potentials for snow. Yesterday was nice, today is beautiful. It's crazy to see what a beautiful day it is today, and to know that it's going to be just awful tomorrow. The weather does look daunting, but right now we're just gonna focus on the task at hand, which is make it to Stehekin. Between this section and Stehekin, there really is no place to bail out. So if you get stuck between two higher peaks because you've already come over some, and then, you know, it snows, just dumps a bunch, and you can't get over the next one, you're kind of stuck. So stressing out a little bit about that, but Perk and I are sticking together through this stretch, so that's nice. There's actually a couple, the ones who had to go back twice into Snoqualmie because of the bad weather, actually quit. They just decided that they were done with the weather, and I don't know, when you see somebody quit this late in the game, you know, it's just like, it messes with your mind a little bit. But Perk and I are feeling strong, and we're just ready for Canada. The other morning I was looking up out of my tent, and I noticed that I had several little bitty holes in the wall of it, and I was gonna just patch them, but there was a section hiker who's done like 1,000 miles on the trail this year, asked me if I wanted to borrow his tent until the end, instead of worrying that patching it wouldn't work, or, you know, all of that, because the weather's supposed to be bad in this stretch. So that's what I did. I swapped him tents. It's kind of scary too to swap somebody's tent this late in the game, but I didn't have a chance to contact Z-Packs, you know, being out here, and I won't really have time for them to send me some repair tape and to deal with all those logistics. So I had to make a decision on the fly. So right now, I am borrowing a Nemo tent, which I've never used one of those before, but it's very similar to my Big Agnes Fly Creek UL2. So hopefully that was a good decision. And we'll see if it gets me through to the end. Rain, rain, go away, come again some other day. Me and Perky wanna go to Canada. So rain, rain, go away. It's cold, it's wet, it's miserable, and it's raining. It was snowing earlier. But trying to stay in good-ish spirits. The rain has chilled out. It's still kind of currently raining, but we're up under these trees, so I'm gonna try to cook some lunch while there's like a slight window of opportunity, even though I'm not necessarily starving right now. But on days like this, you eat when you can, and the snack bank is running a little low. Knowing that there was bad weather coming, I really should have planned for lunches that I didn't have to cook, but hindsight's 20/20, and it is what it is now. Yesterday, just before stopping for camp, had a 5-mile hill or so, and on that hill, I was getting warm. Not sweating, but warm. And so I kept taking my hood for my raincoat and flipping it back. And I decided that was a good idea to cool myself off. And it was raining on me and everything, wetting my hair. But in the moment, it felt kind of good. Well, I like to never got warm last night when I finally got to camp. I mean, I was freezing on that 2-mile ridge walk, and then trying to dry my hair out and warm up was just nearly impossible. And it was still kind of damp this morning. So, not making that mistake today. I've got like 7 more miles of uphill left, and then I think like a half a mile downhill or something to where I'm gonna camp. And I will not be taking this off. It might be a little damp with sweat, but it will not be soaked with cold rain. So just a little something to keep in mind if you're hiking in really cold weather and it's raining. Well, the rain has turned to snow. This is my favorite part of the day. Getting in my tent and eating dinner and going to sleep. And I'm ready to be done. Hopefully gonna make it to THRU-HIKES tomorrow. There's a bus that picks up at the ranger station, and that means I have to do 20.9 miles by 5:30, which lately has not been happening, but most of tomorrow is downhill. So if I can make myself get out of this tent at a decent time in the morning, maybe I'll be alright. But hopefully get over this last little bit in the morning before it gets too crazy. And then I'll have to check the weather once I get to THRU-HIKES and get some service or Wi-Fi or something. But anyway, I'm gonna go wash dishes and brush my teeth and go to bed. seeing all the little tracks and trying to, you know, guess what they are, and that might be like a chipmunk or a squirrel, and that's probably a percolator. If this thing says Cloudy Pass, then we're exactly 100 miles from Canada. Perk, would you
see what it says?
Do us the honors? Hey! Exactly 100 miles from here to the Canadian border. Just ran into a southbounder who, while in Stehekin, said he heard word that today was supposed to be snowy and rainy, but the rest of the week should be nice. And now the sun is trying to shine again. I think we're gonna make it. Man. Oh, here we go. Woo! It's my last day of my PCT through hike, and I'm not sad. The point is, the finish line is happening regardless, because even if I were to fall down and break my leg at this point, I would just drag myself there. So it's gonna happen. And that's the most relieving and wonderful and exciting part of all. I can easily say without a doubt that the PCT is the hardest thing that I have ever accomplished in my life. 11.9 miles to Canada. But I think through it, you know, I learned more perseverance. Woo! We're less than 4 miles, and I learned to try to find the sunny side of, you know, any little thing that I could, even on the horrible days. You know, I made sure to actually enjoy the good moments. It's actually gonna happen now, so I don't know. Pretty excited, even though I didn't beat the snow and I didn't beat the weather to Canada. But this has been an amazing experience and a very challenging one, but I did it.
I imagine this is less graceful than you imagined.
Yeah, at some point you don't care, you're just happy to be done. And the fact that it's finished is better than how you imagined it. Canada! Ow! I'm trying to...
I don't even know where to start.
Maybe we should shoot it
Into Canada?
Yeah.
I guess we use your thumbs? Double thumb?
I don't know.
It does twist.
It does twist?
Yeah. Oh, that was weird.